What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So we are back for the last part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16. Oh, Lord have mercy. Honestly, if I had to rate all in all, the reunion really wasn't that bad. But did we need this last part? Absolutely not. They literally could have made last week's reunion probably like an hour and 15 minutes. That's really what it is, because they brought the men out for a good 5 minutes. A good 5 minutes, if that. You know what I'm saying? But, we are here. We're going to talk about it. Let's get into it. So, of course, the reunion part 3 picks up where I left off last week with Drew. Wrong person. Mind you, Shamia girlfriend, at this point, I'm not going to say that I wouldn't come back for another season. I know they said that she took the RHOA out of her bio on Instagram or whatever, but I feel like she is going to come back, and she, this is your rookie season for somebody with an actual peach, okay? Not a friend of, but an actual peach, right? And so you didn't have that great of a season, all right? Meaning that you started off a little okay, and then you ended on the wrong foot. And it probably went a way that you did not expect it to go, which is unfortunate. The reunion really didn't go the way that you probably wanted it to go. And, I know people were saying that this was terrible for her and all this stuff, but she just, and I don't want her to get kicked off. I don't want her to take herself off. You had one bad season. It's your rookie season. Come back and learn from it and do it again. You know what I'm saying? That's how they grow. Everybody has that one terrible season and they come back and, everything is all to the good. So here's the thing. Okay? When it comes to Shamia, you have been having one hell of a week. Okay? You tried to, after last week's reunion, I wake up on Monday. Was it Monday or Tuesday? One of them days. Porsha and her was going back and forth at each other. Okay? You didn't come to my wedding. You didn't have 2 weddings. I didn't have 2 weddings. I only had one. You did have 2 weddings. I came to the one that was at your house and all of this stuff, whatever. I didn't go to the one that was in Kenya. No, that was a dowry wedding or whatever and all this stuff. I said, oh my goodness, receipts was being put out. People accusing people of not having real receipts and all this stuff and being fake and woo. And I'm just like, Shamia, just take the L. I'm sorry. Just take the L. Porsha did put up the fact that she did congratulate Shamia about getting her peach, and I do remember the post that she did post, because I do follow Porsha. Honestly, I don't know why, but I do. Okay. I saw it when it popped up on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, she did congratulate her, do a whole post about her being on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, having her own peach and everything, being happy about that. And, I mean, some people can say maybe she did it for show, okay? And truthfully, probably honestly felt like, she really didn't want her to be on the show, whatever, just to save face. But then you have Andy backing her up, saying that no, she really did want her on the show, and she was happy that she had the peach. Girl, at this point in time, I don't know. I just feel like it's just really sad the way the fallout between Shamia and Porsha has happened, because it just gives like history is repeating itself when it comes to Shamia and Porsha, because obviously they got into the conversation about Shamia's mom and Porsha's mom. They used to be best friends too for many, many years, and now they're no longer talking to each other. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, history is repeating itself, and I just feel bad for that. And truth be told, I don't like to judge a book by its cover. But when I look at Shamia mama and I look at Porsha mama, I can see probably why that shit didn't work. Okay, I can see why that didn't work. You know what I'm saying? I just really can. But then that whole situation with the bag that Drew had allegedly was supposed to be a fake bag, and it's not a real Judith Lieber bag. It's the Akira bag, and Judith Lieber said, "No, that's a real bag. She really brought that from us." I'm sorry. I wasn't even really all into it. But when I seen that, I said, God Damn, Shamia, just don't say nothing else after this, okay? Do not, I don't even know how it popped off. I don't know how it popped off. And I was just like, oh, this is really bad. This is embarrassing. Girl, I hate when they get on social media after the shows and go back and forth at each other. I know it's part of the program, but I don't want to see all the discord on my timeline. But baby, Shamia, girl, I feel bad. I feel bad. I really do, because I can't even say I'm pretty sure that she didn't want or expect the friendship breakup or even Porsha, but to come out on this reunion and then to get revealed that, oh, y'all was in alliances and this person was supposed to go against Porsha and this was supposed to happen and this and this and that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what the freak is happening for real, for real? Oh, you not happy for me for this and you not happy for me for that. And you gotta post, when it gets to the point where you have to go and post stuff on the on internet for the internet people and all, baby, it's over and it's done with for me. Okay, for me, because I'm not finna do all of that. I'm not finna bring all my business to the internet like that. Granted, I ain't nobody. Okay, so that's one thing. But the whole, because we was trying to be, I was so confused. And I remember when that post came up, when Porsha had, Shamia was saying in interviews, I'm not even gonna lie and say that she wasn't. She was saying in interviews that she didn't know where the friendship was at, or that they weren't on speaking terms or whatever. And then that's why a lot of us were surprised when Shamia's birthday came through and Porsha actually, congratulated her, said happy birthday and all of this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, whoa. And then we all was like, that's a step. We think that's a step. Girl, that they took a step and it was a baby, tensy, wincy step. Because next thing you know, they're no longer communicating, okay? And then the post get put up about Shamia's talking about her mom, or her mom talking about Shamia mama talking about her mom, or something like that. I was like, what the freak what's going on? Because we didn't see anything that was happening. I said, did this happen on the show, or was this... See, and then you do all this stuff in the public and you putting these messages out and people are confused like, oh, so stuff is going on behind the scenes. Okay, cool. Well, that ain't none of our business, to be quite honest. Save it for the show. Okay, y'all gearing up for another season, so that's what it seems like. This drama gonna be on the next season. It's very unfortunate. They was talking about how the reason why Porsha mama is mad at Shamia mama is because they both was in daycare or something like that, or Porsha mama was in daycare and her building got foreclosed on, and she found out that Shamia mama went on ahead and brought the building as soon as it got foreclosed on. And the way that she found out about it is because they was driving past one day and they saw them putting up Shamia mama sign. And so, I mean, on the one hand, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, if you couldn't buy the building, why are you getting... Like, I'm trying to understand it as to the reason why to be upset, because at the end of the day, if the building was in foreclosure and you couldn't pay the bill, or whoever was the landlord or whatever couldn't pay the bill on it, and then somebody else came through and got it, I would have been okay with it if my friend or well, she said that they weren't friends at the time, but even though it's somebody that I know got it, which means that I know regardless they're going to keep it intact, because you could have put some money in and you could have got it. Like, that's what I'm confused about. And then, and Porsha was saying this other stuff that was going on because they wasn't even friends at that time or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so why are we bringing this up if we're not going to talk about it? Because Shamia, which I respect, she said, that's not my business to talk about. And see, that's the theme of what's been going on between Porsha and Shamia. Porsha been saying that Shamia been bringing up old stuff to get the fans on her side or whatever to go against Porsha. Y'all both doing the same thing. You're bringing up old shit, okay? And you got the fans just going like this, like, oh my God, the viewers. We're trying to keep up, but we can't keep up because we're missing details, okay? But at the end of the day, it's really sad what's happening between Porsha and Shamia. And I'm going to say this. Do Porsha come off as a bad friend? Yes, she does. Okay? Yes, she does. I can see exactly why people may say that it seemed like she could be I ain't gonna necessarily say jealous, but some people have said jealous or feel some type of way about how Shamia's relationship has gone, and the success that she's had with being a wife and getting this husband, and doing her thing and having the kids and all that stuff or whatever. And then Porsha probably felt as though I got my own little piece of thing with this Real Housewives thing, and now you coming over here trying to encroach on my territory. I can see how that look like that, okay? But I can also see that, it's a lot of stuff that has been going on and brewing behind the scenes for the past few years. Stuff like this don't just happen out of the blue. Stuff like this between, these friendship breaks up and stuff like that been brewing. And part of that reason I'm going to put that on Shamia. Okay? I'm going to put that part on Shamia because just like everybody keep on saying to her, you don't talk. You tell everybody else your issues. And Angela and the girls were saying, we weren't asking her about Porsha. She comes to us and she telling us about her friendship and what's going on and her grievances and all this stuff with this woman as if we was a safe place. And she said, I guess you wasn't. No, girl, this is the Housewives. What the fuck you thought? Don't tell me nothing because what? Why are you telling me this? I would have just asked her and I would have said, so you telling me this, have you already told her this? Because I don't understand why you telling me this if you ain't going to tell her that. Okay, because what can I do about it? She needs to know about it. I don't need to know about it. Tell me the aftermath, okay? That's what it is. It's all about communication. You got something going on, and if that's your friend, you should be able to talk to your friend. You should be able to pick up the phone and let your friend know that I'm feeling this type of way. I feel some type of distance between us. I feel as though this might be going on. Maybe I'm reaching, and I want you to really, truly tell me if there's anything that you feel. Obviously, that friendship wasn't a safe space if y'all couldn't really talk to each other, and if you felt like you didn't want to tell her anything, you could only be comfortable telling other people that ain't even your friends. Like, okay, that's crazy. Anyway. Open up your mouth. Open up your mouth. It's really sad what's going on between them. Friendship breakups, especially when it's be that long, that shit hurts. Sometimes that shit hurts worse than an actual breakup. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a deeper type of love. It's a deeper type of love, a deeper type of respect. Or I should say a different type of love, a different type of respect, and probably is deeper. Because sometimes these people be together before they even be with the person that they wind up being with for the rest of their life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I feel for them, and I feel like they both need to take responsibility and accountability for the breakage of the friendship. Do I feel as though the show had anything to really do with it? No. Well, I ain't going to say necessarily no. I'm going to say it brought it out, but the problems was already there. They were already there. We get on this whole situation with Drew and Dennis, Drew and Ralph. Girl, Ralph's still in the basement. We found out that Ralph was bringing bitches over to the house. Okay? And on the one hand, y'all getting a divorce, so you getting your clitty tinkled with by Ty and whoever other person, so it is allegedly, so they say. Okay? And it's just like, well, I mean, he ain't bringing them around the kids. I hate to even try to make it seem like I'm taking up for this man. But at the end of the day, y'all are getting a divorce. Y'all in the process of getting a divorce. So therefore, there's no reconciling at this point. And the way that y'all go back and forth with each other, there's no reconciling. And I mean, what you want him to do? Entertain the bitch at the bitch house? I mean, like, girl, okay. But at the same time, Ralph is an asshole. Ralph is a goddamn asshole, and I can never be 100%. I can never be on the side, okay? Because all he had to do when he came out there, and I'm gonna just say this. Let's just because the men come out, right? And since we're talking about Drew, the men come out, and we talked about the fact that Ralph had this woman over. She was at the house. They live in a gated community. She could see the log of who came in, who came out, all of that stuff. Okay, cool. She go to the home, to the school, and find out, just so happened that the lady is there. Okay, and the lady is mean mugging her and all this stuff, whatever. So if you mean mugging me and you doing all of this stuff, and you know that I'm his wife 9 out of 10, because that's why you doing that, what the fuck is he over there telling you? And so that's why, even though I know we say Drew is a liar, right? Drew tells little white lies, not the big ones, in my opinion, right? And even then, I'd be like, girl, what was the point of lying? Okay, you don't have. She say Michael Jordan, her cousin. No, he's not. And my man, he is. That's my play cousin, baby. We too grown for play cousins and all that shit. Well, at least certain demographics, they don't understand play cousins and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But no, they're not related. That's what we established. But we already knew that. That was that's so funny. But when Ralph came out there and they talked about that, and he literally lied and said, I ain't had nobody here. She came into the gate and it was some fitness stuff. I'm going to just tell you this. If you sat there and you listened to anything that Ralph said and you was like, oh, I understand that now, you are a fool. Ralph, with that calm tone, let me tell you something. Because from one manipulator to the next, sometimes the way to get underneath somebody's skin and to try to get them out of character is to act the opposite way of what they expect you to act, okay? Drew probably expected that man to come out there and being on the defense for real, and just going off. And instead, what he gave her was, me and Drew, we had a little good time and everything. She's like this. Like, I don't know what's going on, when we're at home and, the cameras are not there, we're good. We have the best of time. We laugh and everything is all great. But then it's like when the show starts and everything, and it's just like a whole different side, and I just don't understand what that is. All it is that I'm here to love you. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what's going on, I still love you. And I wish that we can get to a place where, we can just say that we love each other and we still want to be friends with each other and okay with each other. I don't want no problems, I still care about you, girl. It was given very much that. No, I didn't have anybody come up there. She came over. She didn't come into the house. Never came down into the basement. It was just for the fitness stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got together and, we fixed some food and, make some good steak, okay? I was sitting here like, what? Did you apologize to Drew Mama for what you said? Honestly, see, when things was going wrong and they didn't have anything, I had to come in and I had to help out with a lot of things. And, for a person to say some of the things that they said and knowing that we still love each other, like I still got a tremendous amount of love for her. So you did apologize. No, I didn't apologize, but eventually I will, because, I got to rectify that situation. Bitch, I'm sitting here listening to Ralph and I said, after all that shit that you was going on, because that day, that night when that episode of the Real Housewives came on, and Drew Mama was sitting on that couch, okay? Drew Mama was sitting on that couch talking about Ralph and what was going on in the relationship. And basically, I feel like it's really stupid sometimes to say, well, I feel as though nobody really should put their input in because you love both of us. No, if you're going through I'm going to take my child's side, okay? She did what she had to do, was she was talking to her daughter, okay? At the end of the day, she see what was going on too. But, I mean, he was slanging that shit on Twitter, okay? They was going back and forth. That was the first time I ever seen them go back and forth like that, because first of all, I was like, why the hell is Ralph popping up on my timeline, okay? And then they was just going back and forth, and it was bad. It was bad. So for him to get up on this camera and to talk in that calm, even tone with that slight smirk to make it seem like everything is okay, and then to get up there and say, because I've never cheated. You know what I'm saying? I've never cheated, and I said, shit, bitch, if you don't stop fucking playing. I was like, when it comes to Dennis, like, I was really confused about all of that, because that's what was told to me. I saw the text message and I was thinking that, oh, is something really going on? I said, oh, so you gonna be real calm about this? You not gonna show your ass, and you not gonna be on one and all that stuff? Oh, you gonna have some sense? That was manipulation. That was manipulation because all you saw over there was Drew just huffing and puffing like, come on, man, okay? And the whole thing about stop lying. Now, you's a damn lie. You know this and woo, woo, woo. He did get Drew out her character for a second when she was talking about that, about the whole Dennis situation. I said, Drew, don't fall into it. Do not fall into it. Ralph is full of shit. That's basically all that you need to know. Ralph is full of shit. You got a bitch staring me down and my kids pick up. Girl, absolutely the fuck not. Girl, they got on Drew about who she messing around with. It was like, so you was having some flirtatious conversations with Ty. She ain't denied. And she was like, this is Drew thing. My friend. My friend. They're my friend. My friend. Baby, we got all types of friends. Now, which friend are you talking about? Friends with benefits, bitch. And that is fine, Drew. Ain't nothing wrong with that, girl. If you like to get your rocks off the way that you like to get your rocks off, be proud about it. Okay? Well, you probably weren't proud about this because Ty was in a relationship. That's what Ming Lee said. And they was up there trying to do the math about 3,000 minutes a month and all this stuff, talking on the phone out. Bitch, Ralph was the one that put that information out there. You should have talked about the text messages. Now, see, this would have woke the thing up if they would have posted the text messages that Ralph posted. But then again, Ralph could have been lying. But at the same time, did Ty ever come out and refute that? That's who I wanted to hear from, okay? The picture of her laid back up in the car and all this. Girl, they going to each other. I told you one thing about it. Lesbians will goddamn travel to get to a bitch, okay? I'm telling you, we have no problems catching a flight or getting on the road, okay? Listen, we do what we got to do for the pussy. But, hey, I was like, it's fine. It's fine. Then they bring up Black. And she was like, Black is a friend of mine, okay? He's another one of my friends. He was like, you was up there talking to him earlier, right? Yeah, I mean, that's my friend. And then Porsha said, no. Drew gets up and she was like, hold on. Because, he has a whole bunch of friends that, promote his business and all this stuff. And I said, so what you about to do? Drew gets her ass up and go get one of his products, his little hookah sticks and shit, and start passing around. And I said, Drew, let me tell you something. That may be your friend, okay? I don't know the extent of it, but that friend is using you. That friend took an opportunity for you to get on TV and to promote his products. That's literally it, okay? And I would not be surprised if y'all ain't really cool after this. You know what I'm saying? Or, it is what it is, right? That's just and I see how he doing, okay? But that's her friend. When they was asking her about Dennis, she was like, and I don't like Dennis. Dennis is not my type. You see Ralph. Porsha said, Black don't look like Ralph either. And actually, he ain't even much to look at in the first place. Bitch. To be quite honest, he ain't nothing to look at either. Okay, so I'm just, I said, now Porsha, why would you say the truth? Why would you say that? That man ain't ugly. He just not the type that he ain't on no Ralph level. And what you mean by that, girl, I don't know if she was trying to talk about his looks or whatever, but body type, okay? Ralph is not an ugly man. Black ain't an ugly man either, but at the same time, he ain't buffed up like Ralph and all that stuff. And Dennis not an ugly dude, but he ain't buffed up like Ralph. That's what I thought she was talking about. And then Porsha come through and said, he ain't nothing to look at. Why the fuck would you say that? Why would you say that? God damn. Bitch, Dennis, a liar, okay? At the end of the day, we got to blame Dennis for a lot of this shit too. Because, we ain't going to put it all on him because, Drew, that's your friend. You should have called and you should have made sure. I will continue to say that. You should have called and you should have made sure that everything was cool on Porsha end because that is your homegirl, right? Bitch, you took Dennis' word and said that as if he said that he actually talked to Porsha and she was cool with it. And couldn't find out, no, he didn't really do that. That's really what it was, okay? And so, They was like, how can you get mad at Porsha for going to meet up with Ralph and all this shit and not understand where she was coming from with you working with Dennis? And she said, it's a difference, bitch, because she did that shit on petty. I was working with Dennis for business. You went and met up with Ralph for some petty shit. And that's literally the difference, okay? That's literally the difference because it is what it is, right? Cynthia had the nerve to say something to Shamia about the communication. I don't know. She was telling her something, and I was like, maybe that's something you kind of can apply to yourself. Y'all can put it down in the comments because it's right there, but I can't put it's on the tip of my tongue, whatever she was talking about. But it made me think about what Kenya said. Kenya had put out a little, she was doing a live, and Kenya said she is not coming back to Real Housewives season 17. That they are allegedly looking to get 2 new housewives. One of them owns a restaurant, and one of them is someone from the Love and Hip Hop franchise. Now, what has been going around is that one of those people, the restaurateur, is Pinky Cole from Slutty Vegans. And then, allegedly, possibly, the Love and Hip Hop star is K. Michelle. Bitch. And let me tell you something. With the way K. Michelle is going now, I can kind of see her being on Love and Hip Hop. I mean, she was already on now, on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she's not a housewife, okay? But she can use this as exposure to help promote her country music. And if you haven't been listening, it's actually good. And I'm loving that she's going into this direction. So she can use this platform to help, promote her and get more eyes on her in that way. Now, will people forget her past and what she been through on Love and Hip Hop and on the social medias? No. We're gonna bring it up each and every time. But I mean, if it is her, I'll be okay with it. But it's gonna take some getting used to. But honestly, I really don't want nobody from Love and Hip Hop to come. Okay. But that is gonna be the gag. That is going to be the gag. For a couple of reasons, and I don't want to be messy and shady, so I'm gonna keep it to myself. But read between the lines, cause how the fuck does imagine if K. Michelle does get on Real Housewives of Atlanta? That's an upgrade. No matter how bad this season has, the show had went down, that's still an upgrade from all that other shit. Cause they neck and neck. That is funny. But Kenya also said the reason why her and Cynthia don't get along, and she ain't fucking with Cynthia right now, and 9 out of 10 probably ain't gonna be fucking with her no more, is not because of the shit that everybody else was talking about previously. No, it's because she had told Cynthia and probably shared some information with Cynthia that was private, and she didn't want it to be told to anybody else, and Cynthia basically was telling other people. She couldn't keep her mouth closed. She divulged some information that was personal to Kenya that she thought that she can trust with her, and this is according to Kenya, and she was, gave it to somebody else. And the person, she found out about it, and she's just like, if I wanted everybody to know, I would have told them. And you supposed to be my friend, you supposed to be my homegirl, and I supposed to be able to trust you, and obviously I can't. And so that's just really what it was. And bitch, she said, keep your name out my, quit acting like you don't know why we don't talk. I said, God damn, now see, this whole time I was thinking it was because of the brick situation. And so because of that, Cynthia, I say to you, you fucked up. I'm gonna have to be on Kenya's side on that one. Because if I tell you some shit, and you go tell somebody else, and I'm telling you this in confidence and privacy and all of that shit, because I feel like I could trust you, and then I find out that somebody else know that news, and the only other person that know that I told was you. Oh, yeah. Cut it. Okay? It is what it is. Moving on from that, Drew and everybody, they fine. Kelly had asked Ralph, I want to know what the hell my husband said to you. I wish she would have went a little bit deeper and would have actually asked him, so you really going to sit up here and take the word of a person who doesn't see their kids. And I'm glad she did throw that out there though. But she did it in a way to make him feel good and to actually kind of like, make it so that Drew can understand that, yeah, be glad that you have a man in your life who still wants to see their kids because mine don't. And I know she said that because even though Ralph tried to make it seem like they only had one conversation or whatever, the way that he was talking on his little podcast and all that stuff, whatever, was as if this man has always been talking to him and just basically saying all this shit that Kelly is lying about and whatever, and woo, 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 and he was taking his side because of man, And then she had to throw that shit out there for real, for real. He's a fucking deadbeat. He don't want to take care of his kids. So if that's what you want to be cool with, all right, go ahead. Y'all, Ralph got a song out. And all I'm going to say to that is he's on there singing. And this is why I would never work with him and Drew. And it never was going to work. Y'all have got to get people. It must suck to be in relationships with people who are jealous of you or who wants to do the same thing with you unbeknownst to you. They want to be the diva in a relationship. And that's all I'm going to fucking say on that. The men do come out. Like I said, Charles came out. Charles said, I don't know none of these motherfuckers on this stage for y'all to be sitting up here acting like you know me. Okay, Shamia said, well, I know you. I met you before. He was like, no, I don't even remember that. Where was that? And she said, you was at Dominique's wedding or whatever. No, you met me, but I was there. You met me. You didn't meet me. I was there. That's something like that. Basically, we was in the same place, but I don't know you. And I get where he was coming from, especially when it came to Phaedra. Like, we've been in multiple things together and all that stuff. And Phaedra was lying too. Because Phaedra got to stuttering. She couldn't really get it out because she was lying too. And at the end of the day, I'm going to need Phaedra to stop fucking lying. We call Drew a liar. Phaedra is a goddamn liar too. Okay? And I feel like she's more of a liar than Drew. You get up on this show, you act like you didn't have no problem with Angela. You didn't talk about her age. You didn't talk about the saying that, it was a secret marriage and she was a secret wife and nobody knew her. You said that multiple times. It was more than once. Okay? So, cut the shit. And he had to put it out there. I don't understand why y'all so focused on me. Why are y'all not focused on y'all husband? Hell, I'm the only husband up here. Where the fuck y'all husbands at? Because y'all ain't got none. Okay, and maybe y'all need to focus on that. I said, you know what? Okay, Charles. Charles is me a little bit. When he said that shit about, they said, why you don't be showing no affections or whatever to your wife because it be making it seem like you don't really like that lady. Because that's what I be saying. You don't like that lady. Now, let me tell you something. I listen, to a certain extent, yeah, be all up under me or whatever. But Charles said, Angela know how I feel about her. Angela know I love her, the kids and everything. But I ain't finna do nothing that I don't do just for camera. And I said, you know what? Felt. But I get that we want real reality. But I ain't finna come on no goddamn camera and make my baby look bad. Okay? Make it look like I don't give a fuck about her. And I'm one of the most nonchalant ass bitches on the planet. Okay? Listen. Girl, what? It may look like I don't give a damn, but I do. But I ain't finna make my boo look stupid on camera like I don't love her. Absolutely the hell not. I may feel some type of way, and when the cameras go down, but damn, bitch, I'm gonna act it out for you because I'm gonna make my baby look good. You could have did that, Charles, but Charles stuck in his ways. He a grumpy ass old man. They been having troubles ever since that whole situation of him getting. I remember when his ass got into that beef or whatever in Madison Square Gardens and they took his ass out. Baby, all of that caused some shit in their relationships. That's when they had separated because I think he was alleged infidelity or something that probably was going on because Angela said some women was coming in there. They had to go to therapy and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, everybody got problems. Girl, when they were talking about Shamia being a lapdog or whatever and something with Angela said, I can't be no goddamn lapdog. I'm too fucking big for that, bitch. That shit was funny as fuck, okay? That was funny. I ain't even gonna hold you. Everybody was cracking up at that. But yeah, The reunion was cute. It was cute. I did. It was easy going. But I do feel like we didn't even need this part 3, but the part 3 wasn't bad. Honestly, I actually liked the part 3 more than I did the first 2. To be quite honest. I got most of my laughs off of this one. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't too serious. Again, the most heaviest part was the situation with Porsha and Shamia. And I feel, that's really messed up. Kelly, girl, if they said something about you, I didn't even care. I'm not gonna hold you. It went in and left. As soon as it went in and left, okay? But Phaedra only filmed for 2 weeks. Bitch, what? You came for 2 weeks and got a whole trip out of it. You know what? I can't even be mad at that. Okay? Did you pay for it? Probably not. So shit. I mean, hey, it is what it is. 2 weeks of working, probably got paid a pretty penny, bitch. Girl, you gotta do what you gotta do these days. Anything else went down in this episode? Yeah, I guess that's about it. Again, sad thing with Shamia and Porsha, they need therapy on their own. And sometimes I feel like you just gotta take a break from a person. That's just really what it is. I'm so goddamn tired. I had a doctor's appointment in the morning. I had to go to work this whole weekend, and my ass stayed up to watch the concerts Friday night to Saturday night. Yesterday morning, bitch, I ain't go to sleep till after 3, and it wasn't even because of the concert. It was because of other shit that was going on. Why? And I still went to work this morning. Why? And I'm so tired. Y'all almost didn't get this. I was going to give it to y'all, I guess, tomorrow after I came back from the doctor's office, but I wasn't going, girl, please. I'll come back from the doctor's office, I'm going to bed. I already fucking know it's my day off. Fuck that. But I ain't want y'all cussing me out either. Oh my God, Ashley, where the shit at? Where the shit at? Y'all some crazy. Be acting like a crackhead. I love it though. But thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to everybody. It's been cute. It's been real. Put your opinion about the whole season. Who do you think should come back? Are you here for the new additions? Allegedly, the new alleged additions to the show. And if it really is a Love and Hip Hop personality, who do you think is coming? The last time I heard about Pinky Cole was her car getting broken into and stolen. Her Rolls Royce got stolen or whatever right at the grand opening of one of her buildings or some shit like that. That was fucked up. That was like a few weeks ago. But yeah, how did you feel about the show? Who do you want to stay on the show? Who do you want to leave on the show? The whole Porsha and Shamia situation, really sad. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. And again, thank y'all for rocking with me, and I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.